we're back here today, very excited because we have got our hands on Audi's brand new 100% electric car, the e-tron. Since Audi announced this and it became real, not just a concept car, it's actually going to go production, been super excited to get our hands on this car, and today's the day. So in this video we're going to talk to you a little bit about charging and hopefully debunk some of the myths and worries about electric cars in this video, so keep watching. So one of the main concerns people have with electric cars is range, and quite rightly so, because we're just so used to being in petrol or diesel vehicles where every couple of miles you know there's a fuel station there you can pull into, 2 minutes and you're away. Obviously the infrastructure isn't quite there yet with electric cars, but I think people are worrying for no reason, and I'll tell you why. So this car has got an official range of 259 miles. That's the official range. It's never going to do that. There are so many factors that come into play when we talk about range. Just like with your petrol diesel cars, there's so many factors that come into the fuel consumption with that. No different to electric cars. In terms of driving style is a big one, and also weather conditions as well. So if it's super hot, super cold, that can affect the range. We're told, and sort of pulling in from various different places, what you can probably expect real time or real world is around 220 miles as range. Let's talk about that, because how many times a year do you drive 220 miles in one go? I do 25,000 miles a year. I don't do that 220 miles in one go very often, a couple of times a year maximum. Okay, so really when you look at it that way and you're worried about range, going, well, can I do 220 miles? My car, if I fill it up, I'll get 500 miles out of it. You're never going to do that in one go, and even if you did do it in one go, you're probably going to want to take a break after 200 miles and stretch your legs and have a coffee. So range thing, as long as you're getting sort of 200 miles as a range, I really don't see it as a big problem at all. And the infrastructure, like I say, isn't anywhere near like it is with fuel stations, your traditional petrol stations, but it's getting close. So to give you an example, the guys at ZapMap, they claim that as of May 2019 there are around 23,000 charging points throughout the UK in about, I think it's like 8,500, 9,000 locations, something like that, and that's growing all the time. That side of it is coming into play. It is going to get easier and easier to charge your car on the move. But saying that, experts are predicting that 60% of charging of electric vehicles will be done at home. And if you think about it, it really does make sense, because your car is parked up at home probably the majority of its time, I would say. You know, you leave at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, you get back 6:30, 7:30, something like that, and then it's parked up. So it's parked up for a good 12 hours, and that is when you're going to do the majority of your charging. And for me, there's nothing more annoying or stressful when I'm leaving for work and I'm probably like borderline running a little bit late, that I realise I need to actually stop at the fuel station. So knowing that every single morning when I leave work, this thing is going to be charged up and ready to go, it's going to make my morning a lot less stressful, I can tell you. So when I talk about charging at home, there's three options open to you really. The first one, I would recommend this one. You can plug this car to your standard UK 3-pin socket. Now, disclaimer, you should check with the electrician. It's going to take around 42 hours to take this car from zero, bear in mind 0 to 100% charge. So that is the extreme. You've gone from completely flat to fully charged, but even so, you get the idea. So what you really want to do is get a wall box installed at home, and the good thing about this, as of now, there is up to a £500 government grant towards a wall box as well, so that's going to change at some point. So, but as of today, end of May 2019, I think it is, and there's a couple of types of wall boxes you can have depending on your mains power. Most homes in the UK have something called single phased power, okay, which is going to allow you to have a 7 kilowatt wall box installed at your home, which is basically going to charge this thing, and it's quite a big car, from 0 to 100% in 13.5 hours, there or thereabouts. That is quite a long time, but bear in mind we're taking that from a 0 charge to 100% charge, like I said a second ago. You're never going to roll up at home and this thing be flat. You know, you don't really want to take the car below, you know, sort of 15-20%. And on that note as well, you don't really want to charge the car to 100% all the time as well, because if you do that, it's going to do something called battery derogation. It's basically going to damage your battery over a period of time because you're taking it to its full capacity. So realistically, 80 to 85% is really where you want to charge your car to anyway, as a maximum, unless you're doing like a super long road trip and you know you're going to need the full range. But your average day-to-day use, you only take it to about 80 to 85% anyway, so you can park this thing up when you get home, plug it in, and you know you're going to have enough power when you're ready to go in the morning. The other wall box you can have is phase 3 power, and you can actually install a 22 kilowatt wall box, which would allow you to charge this car again 0 to 100% in around 4.5 hours. One of the cool features when you're charging this vehicle at home is within the Audi app, you can actually set the car to say charge it to a certain point. So as I said then, you don't want to take it to 100%. So you can set the app to say only charge the car to 80%, 83%, whatever you want it to be. And you can also do other cool stuff, like if you are on one of these energy tariffs where you get cheaper electricity at night, you can ask the car only start charging, only start pulling power in after that time, so you're on the cheaper tariff. Or you could say I want to leave at 8 o'clock in the morning, so I want to get to 85% charge, and the car will then, by 8 o'clock in the morning, it will have just got itself to 85% charge. So the battery's nice and warm because it's just taking the power in, so when you're driving that car, you're getting the optimum or your best sort of range, if you like, out of that vehicle, because the battery's already warm, so that's kind of helping you out a little bit. So the other big question is, how much does it cost to actually charge one of these things? This thing, and it does depend on tariffs and stuff like that, so we're taking the average here. This car, charging at home, you could probably charge it up for somewhere between 12 and 14 pounds. For 12 to 14 pounds, you're going to get, let's say, 220 miles. That, to me, sounds pretty damn cheap really. Whereas if you had a petrol version of this size vehicle, it probably costs somewhere in the region 60 to 70 pounds to fill it up, and range wise somewhere in the region of 4 to 450, again averages. Yeah, even I can work that out pretty quickly, that it's an awful lot cheaper to drive this car than it would be a petrol or diesel version. So how do you charge these things? I've not seen this on any other electric vehicle. It may be out there, but I've not seen it, so if it is, drop a comment, because I'd like to have a look at that vehicle. This car's actually got 2 charging points. So the first one is here, right next to the E-Tron badge, which looks pretty cool in that yellow, orangey type effect. So you've actually got 2 charging points. The first one is your main one, which is your Type 2, for your Type 2 connector, really for your home or public charging. So this is the one where basically you're going to get 7 or 22 kilowatt hour charge into the vehicle. You know, like I said before, somewhere between 4 and 13 hours to fully charge it, but this is where that goes. Below here you've got your port for your rapid charge. These are the chargers which you'll find, there's not as many of them at the moment, but basically a bit like your Tesla superchargers, you can't plug that in there. These are the fast chargers, so these are going to take you up to 80% charge in somewhere between 30 and 40 minutes. So these are the interesting ones which are starting to roll out a little bit more, where we're talking about, you know, on long journeys, a service station, plug it into one of these rapid chargers, go and get yourself a coffee, stretch your legs, come back in 30 minutes time, and you've got yourself a lot more charge ready to continue on your journey. And as I said, there is another charger, and if you come around this way, Connor, just on this side, it's the same deal. Well, this is only got the Type 2 connector on it, there's no rapid charge on this side. And I guess the reason they put 2 on is just for convenience. It's the only thing I can think of. Basically, you're not having to worry about which side you park. Hopefully it should make it an awful lot easier for you. What a lot of the other electric cars, especially like Tesla, and on the e-Golf as well, they've kept the charging point towards the rear, sort of where you should expect the traditional fuel cap to be. So it's interesting that on the e-Tron, Audi decided to bring the charging point right here. I'm not sure why. I think it looks quite good there. Makes it stand out a little bit. I think it looks really nice. So that was our brief overview on the charging situation behind the Audi E-Tron. I hope you enjoyed it. If we've missed anything or something else you want us to find out for you, please drop a comment below. I'm saying please because I just need any excuse to get this car back again. So just make something up in the comment section so I can get the car back. That'd be cool. Cheers.